The story for the Minnesota Wild coming into the season is one that's similar to the beginning of last season, and different forms of adversity popping up before things start.
It just kept building on them because they needed some wins to relieve some pressure. They couldn't do that. And ultimately, I think that led to Dean Evison being let go and the coaching change. And I think that was close to rock bottom. They started to claw back, but it's too little too late. And when you lose your captain, you lose your coach, you get off to a tough start. The NHL season is long, but it's not long enough to recover from that stuff.
Marcus Foligno missed significant time. Kaprizov didn't play a full season. Jonas Brodin missed time. Philip Gustafsson, goaltending position, missing time with injury. And it felt like it just sort of snowballed as they got traction throughout the kind of middle part of the year. Injuries again kind of just kicked this team right in the tail. But ultimately, I come back to not being healthy. Just made it too hard for the Wild a year ago, and they're trying to stay healthier this year and get off to a better start.
I think a lot of what you're going to see with this team in the coming year is that they're trying to reclaim their story, and they get to decide where that story begins.
Vegas was a tremendous venue. I'd never been to the Sphere. Definitely a lot of anticipation and excitement as a group.
It's exciting. It has to be stressful, I think, at the same time, too, because you don't know how things are going to shake out in that first round. The phones are ringing. His year is going to be busy. You're going to make a deal. You don't have a lot of time to get these things done.
This is who I am. California kid,
You've got Bill Guerin obviously running the ship. Judd Brackett's track record is excellent as far as what he's done in drafts. A lot of different people, a lot of different voices in a management capacity, and they all bring something different to the table.
Billy's special skill is he surrounds himself with experts in various different areas. He empowers them to do the best job that they can do.
Do we want to do that a third next year to move up one?
I'm listening to Judd on that day. That's his day, and we're going to do what he feels is right. I'm discussing that with him one-on-one.
We got to kind of wait and watch the draft unfold, but as soon as, pick 11 went in, we immediately picked up the phone. We knew we had to do, what we could to get there.
I just remember Judd saying the value in just getting this kid is worth trading a third-round pick.
Pick 13 wasn't going to be the pick that got our guy, so then we had to figure it out on the fly, and we were fortunate that the Flyers were open to moving back just one spot, and we got the guy we wanted.
As you can tell, we have a trade. Philadelphia trades pick number 12 to Minnesota in exchange for Minnesota's own first-round pick, number 13, and Minnesota's own third-round pick in 2025.
Huge credit to Billy. He's always been really active in terms of communicating with other GMs, giving us an opportunity to either move up, move back. We really thought we had to execute and move up even if it was just one spot.
This place is pretty cool. Thanks for a great week, Vegas. The Minnesota Wild are proud to select from the University of Denver, Z. Bouillon.
That was popular.
Yeah, I tried. How you doing, kid? Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Proud of you,
it. Thank
buddy.
you so much.
Being drafted is a tremendous honor. All the hard work, the miles, the workouts, the early mornings, the playing when you're sick and injured. It's a tremendous reward, and it's also, a benchmark. It's where you are at this age that you are considered one of the, 200 best players that year in the draft. You want to be in that same grouping 3, 4, 5 years from now. So there's still a lot of work to be done, but it is a moment to really celebrate and cherish and be welcome to an organization and one as great as the Minnesota Wild.
Matt Boldy texted me.
Tell me when your party's over. He already gained like 2,000 pounds.
This year, they got Zeev to fall to them at 12, and they were ecstatic about that. But then it's a quick turnaround, 8 o'clock the next morning, and you can find some sleepers, some good players around 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good job, buddy.
That was nervous. I never put me back in that situation.
You can't rest your laurels on the success of day one. You've got to get right back to work day two, and I think the Wild did that, making some savvy picks on the second day.
Hey, buddy. Congratulations. It's awesome. Proud of
Let me
you.
tell you one thing, man. You make the biggest steal off the draft. I'll promise you that.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I know we did.
Not surprised at all. He had the conversation he had with Billy. Actually, when we go back to Buffalo and talk about the NHL Combine, almost every player from Finland, when asked if they could bring someone with them on the next team, who would it be? They all said Aaron.
Kid knows how to make a first impression. Yeah.
It's the mentality that if you want to be a professional hockey player, that I'm going to show everyone how good I am because I know how good I am.
From right here in Western Hockey, Jason Woodski.
He was still 17 at the draft in Vegas, just turned 18 in August. And to actually have a leading role in Red Deer, be a #1 goaltender at that age is already really impressive. He's got great compete speed. So for me, I see the arrow pointing straight up for him.
It's just such a tease right here. We're out there, but we're not out there.
It's like Omaha, it's just way cooler.
Can you hear me? Oh, have you heard everything? Oh.
You're just talking to him. The entire skate, you're just talking to him. If you do something sweet, you gotta yell, clip it. Just be like, clip that. Somebody clip that.
I probably won't be doing anything sweet out here today.
He's a very skilled D-man. He's definitely one of those guys that you want on your team.
Can really skate, can really make plays, so he's definitely a really good player. Got to go through the process together, so it was a lot of fun.
It's not often that a defenseman puts up 50 points as a freshman in a major college hockey program and setting like Denver. And so he's got all the makings of what could be a superstar player down the line.
Why do you look so tired, man?
Me?
Yeah, you look so tired. I'm gonna run you today. What round did we take you? What? What round did we take you?
Why?
I just forget.
You got me.
A silver lining to the cap situation the Wild are in, having to give up $14.5 million, is the fact that they've had to rely on some young talent. The Wild have, by necessity, had to draft well, had to get these players in the lineup, and they're short money, so they've had to use entry-level contracts to their advantage.
Whether you're up against the cap or not, you need young players to help push your team to another level.
We need good young players that, are in the entry-level system so they don't make as much, and we can fit them in, but they have an impact on what we're doing. So it just won't change. You always need good young players that are going to help impact your team. Their eyes should be wide open, looking at opportunity.
The speed of the game is definitely a big difference from where I come from. I'm just kind of taking it day by day and taking advice from the coaches and just going from there. It's been an incredible experience for me.
It was less of like a competition there, I'd say. It was more kind of get to know everyone, get to know the way the Wild develop their players. So I thought that was a great week.
The immediate transition into pro hockey from a draft pick is a challenging one. You get to the pro level, and all of a sudden you have a lot of people helping you out, and the expectation rises quite a bit, and you have everything you have around you to succeed. It's that way because you have to work to earn the opportunity to use these facilities to be here. And I think it's hard for a young player drafted right into an NHL situation and not feel anything but slightly overwhelmed.
We have a long journey to get to where we want to be, but knowing all my hard work's paid off, I just got to keep working harder and harder and harder.
I think the work starts after the draft. I mean, now you're in an organization and you gotta work your way up. Hopefully make pro, hopefully play in the NHL. So you're competing every day. You're trying to pass somebody every day and make your way up in the organization.
Good game. You did out there. I scored 1 goal. I scored. That's time.
Sit down.
Why am I nervous?
It had been talked about a little bit at the end of the season, and we got it done pretty quick. So a dream come true to be able to stay here for so long, to have my family so close and my friends, and again, grew up in Minnesota. It's a dream come true, to say the least.
There's always some risk, I guess, but when you look at Brock's character and the way he carries himself, the way he competes, the way he treats people, the way he's got an it factor, and that's really tough to explain, but he has that. You sure you don't want to rethink this?
I'm good. I'll just sign it now.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's their contract as much as it is mine. I mean, they've sacrificed so much for me and done so much for me in my life, where I really don't think I'd be sitting in this chair without my parents.
There's one. It's well earned, well deserved, and what did I tell you yesterday?
Just be myself. I don't need to change anything. I don't need to. I don't need to try and earn it all in one game.
It's one great thing about hockey players. They want to earn their money, but sometimes it gets them in trouble, and they try to be something that they're not. You're getting this because you are who you are as a player and a person. I'll never change.
Mm-hmm. I will not.
Congrats. I make that decision, and I'm willing to put my neck on the line for him. I really believe in this kid, so I'm really happy that we got to get it done.
I love what Brock Faber brings to the table. I mean, his personality, his natural leadership, his pedigree as far as coming out of the University of Minnesota and having a great rookie season. I think the sky's the limit.
Back to the line, Faber, a shot, he scores!
Last year was great for Brock Faber, playing 25+ minutes a night, 6 overall in the entire league in average time on ice.
He's just so mature for his age. It doesn't seem like he's only played 1 year, just the way he plays out there and the way he conducts himself.
I think he was given a lot more ice time than he expected, but it's what he did with it that was really special, and we're really lucky to have a guy like that. And moving forward, he's only going to get better.
He was called upon to play a higher role than maybe to be expected, but the way that he handled those situations on the ice was a great sign for him moving forward, and also for us as an organization and as a team.
You see that, you want to jump out in front of it, because 3-4 years from now, a defenseman of his ability probably going to be making way more than $8.5 million. I think it was a great fit for both sides for hopefully the foreseeable future.
I have a ton of goals and aspirations for myself and for this team. And again, to have so long to work at those and achieve those goals, it's an incredible opportunity for me.
The opening speech of training camp, it sets the tone. And again, Billy's a presence. When he walks into a room, you absolutely notice it. I've played for general managers and coaches that maybe don't carry the same presence. And to kick off training camp, it's felt different. And sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's lighthearted.
We all have an opportunity here. I have an opportunity to make myself better and to put more into it and enjoy it more and to live it more. Young guys, you got a great opportunity. Don't waste it. Veterans, you guys have an opportunity. Your legacy, what are you all about?
When I think about Bill Guerin, I think about the competitive nature. He was that way as a player. He's been that way in his management career. He wants to win. He's up front. I believe he has good communication with the players, with his coaching staff, and he wants to win above all else.
We had an off year last year. It's gone, it's done. Everything's in front of us. Don't waste a day. Today's day one. Good luck. All right, thanks.
When you couple the fact that he has a presence, he wants to win, and then you're kicking off a training camp, a new season, I think it grabs everybody in that room and it sets the tone for the next, not only the next couple weeks, the next couple months and the season ahead.
You have to fight for your role. There's guys in this room that are fighting to make an impression. There's guys in this room that are fighting to make the team. There's guys in this room that are on the team and in roles, and they're fighting for those roles. Just because you had it last year doesn't mean you have it this year. It's brand new. There's guys that didn't have great years last year, they're hungry. There's guys that had great years last year, are they gonna be better than they were last year? So we have to embrace that part of it. It's really a clean slate, being able to come into camp and being able to come into the team. We don't know what story we're gonna write with our team yet, but it starts in training camp.
His message was great. Focus, consistency. How do you bounce back from a good game, a bad game? How are we consistent in our efforts? We can't just start on day one of the season. We have to start day one of training camp so we can have a great start to the season.
This is where we started. We're writing the story of what our team is going to be for the season.
When Bill Guerin and John Hynes speak, I mean, everyone's listening. They definitely set the tone on how things are going to roll and how we want to start the season. So it feels like, you know, training camp is finally here, the season's finally here, and it's time to get going.
For him to finally have a full training camp with these players is going to be a big benefit, and I know he's really looking forward to it.
One lap, that way, here you go. Here you go, grab some water right over here. Bring the water bottles over here, boys. Gotta keep humming here.
Every year, you start from the ground up. Your work habits, your conditioning, your mindset, the tactical things that you want to be able to implement. You want to practice for improvement every day.
3 white D, 1 forward and 1 forward. Then we'll get 4 guys in these lines. The way the drill will start, these guys are going to be at the hash with a puck.
He's very intense, very detail-oriented in the ways where it's certain positions throughout our systems that you need to be in certain places, and he's always coaching, whether it's you coming back to the board or in line or during the drills.
Play it! Let's go!
We want it to be game-like. They don't quit on pucks, they hound pucks. Every puck battle is important.
Transition, move!
He wants us to come prepared in practice, and then it'll translate to a game. So everything that we do at practice is 100% with effort and speed, and he wants it consistently, and that's what he expects of it this year.
As a hockey player, an athlete, whatever, that's what you like. You don't want to have to try to figure things out on your own. You want your coach to be clear in what he expects from you, and I think John's very good at delivering that.
Play with speed!
Yakov Trenin to me is a guy that you can certainly count on to be a big physical presence, a straight line player. His best offensive season came while playing under John Hynes in Nashville. He had 17 goals. But when you're talking about size, physicality, knowing his role, knowing what his game looks like, I think that's what Trenin brings to the table. And I think there's some untapped offensive potential there as well.
Had a flight with 3 connections, then arrived to Minneapolis. We had a few days when I was sleeping in the mattress and we were eating on a suitcase. We didn't have any chairs, but glad now everything's settled in. And I played in Nashville last year and we played in Minnesota, and then when we played them in regular season earlier, it was completely different what we played them later in the season when we lose some guys, so some guys got hurt, and it was like it wasn't as hard as early in the season. And I always knew this team is playing hard. This Minnesota State, it's state of hockey, probably so many players from the States in the NHL, mostly of them from Minnesota, I think. And, you know, fans know the game and they always cheer hard, and we expect to be at your best every single night. As good as it is, sometimes it's a little bit pressure too, first game, and we already expect to be at your best tonight, and that's what we're going to try to do. It's important not to waste any time, and every single day, every single practice is important, and all combined it's full year, and we don't want to waste that.
I think it starts with a strong start to the season. Get off to a better start, play the brand of hockey that John Hynes wants his team to play, be hard to play against, gain some confidence, and then see where it takes you.
The season doesn't start the second week of October. It started the minute last season ended, and guys have prepared in such a way that they've made that a reality.
When you get behind and you're playing catch up throughout the year, it's tough to get back into the race. The intensity that we have and battling right from the beginning is going to be big for us.
It's a fresh slate for everyone and a clean slate. Everyone's healthy again, and that's a positive. And, you know, we want to start off running and understanding Hynes' systems and things like that, and what he expects from us.
Obviously a bitter taste in our mouth from last year, so now it's time to really ramp back up, and it's fun to get back to work.